Good evening, everyone. Welcome to BNEWS Live Election Coverage 2021. This is April 10th. My name is Alan Foulds, and I'm here with Rich Hosford, Director of BNEWS. By the way, this is our 31st year of coverage. This year, we had 3 contested races on the main ballot, plus races for town meeting in 4 precincts. Before we get to the results, though, Rich, do we have a turnout number?
I didn't have the exact number. I was told when I was down there that we were at about 15%.
15%, a little bit less than last year. Last year's race was in June, I believe, right?
Yeah, last year was a little bit different since, you know, we had this little pandemic happen.
Right, kind of hard to compare. All right, let me quickly run down what's at stake tonight, and then we're going to go right to the results. For town clerk, we have 1 seat for a 5-year term. Amy Warfield is the incumbent for 10 years. The challenger is Joseph Welch. For selectmen, we have 2 seats for 3-year terms. We have 2 incumbents plus a challenger. Mike Runyon has been in office for 3 terms. Joe Morandy for 2 terms. Sherry Ellis, the challenger, has been a town meeting member for 25 years, and she chairs the Zoning Bylaw Review Committee. Shawshene Tech, we have 1 seat for a 3-year term and 2 people running, Michael Kelly and Christine Kim. As I said, there were also races in precinct 1, 3, 4, and 5. But first, let's get right to the results. Rich.
Okay. So the top line results we'll start off with the town clerk. Incumbent Amy Warfield won quite handily with 2,330 votes to Joseph Welch's 417. In the race for the Board of Selectmen, both incumbents, Joe Morandy and Mike Runyon, beat out challenger Sherry Ellis, though it was a close race, with Mike Runyon getting 1,649, Morandy 1,581, and Ellis 1,520.
Still about 61 votes or so. That's pretty close for the second position.
It was a tight race. Yeah. And then for the Shawshene Tech School Committee, Christine Kim beat out Michael Kelly with 1,556 to 883.
Okay. Well, do we have our first? We have, I think, at least 5 people here to interview, and I think maybe the first one is ready, and I believe it is Joe Morandy.
It is Joe Morandy.
And do we have him queued up?
Let's see. Let's hope we can see him as well as hear him.
I will mention that there are other contests, or other positions. They're now ready. We'll get to that a little later. Hello, Joe.
Sir.
Welcome and congratulations.
I'm going to have to stop for a second. I can't hear you at all.
Aha.
All right.
I can hear Rich fine, but I can't hear.
Okay.
All right.
Now I can hear him.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you'd like to start to talk to your campaign people or your family, that might be a good way to start.
Absolutely. So let me start with my family, because they're the most important thing in my life. My dad and my mom, I can't thank them enough for their support, for what they did for me. My sisters were absolutely fantastic. Nieces and nephews came down today to hold signs for me, and the love I feel for my family is fantastic. And I can't say enough about them. Thank you.
Excellent.
The campaign people, I don't even know where to start. I mean, Jack Ferrin was unbelievable. Sean Connors driving around. Mike Espejo standing out there all day long. Rob Nicoloro. The list goes on and on. Beth Pandolfo with Kerry Powers. I don't know where to start. I am absolutely thrilled that I won. It was a tight race. It was tough. It was very tough. Long day, but it's always a good day.
For the 2 other members or candidates in the race?
I'm sorry.
Any words for the 2 other candidates in the race?
Well, you know what?
Mike and Sherry.
Yeah, we all went out there. We all tried our hardest. It's like a couple years ago, 3 years ago when I won, and I happened to beat one of the other guys by a short number of votes. So kudos to everybody for running, whether it's town clerk or whatever. We go out there, and as politicians, I guess we'll call ourselves, we put ourselves out there. People, you're subject to everything in your life, no matter what you're doing. So I give everybody all the credit in the world for the time and the effort that they put into this to become a selectman, town clerk, whatever it is, whatever position you're running for. Kudos to everybody for running.
I think probably just the last thing, just, you're 3 more years on the board. So, kind of coming out of this pandemic, what do you think of the priorities of the Board of Selectmen during the next year and for the remainder of your term?
I've always said my priorities are the taxes in this town. Without the tax rate from the commercial side and the tax rate from the residential side, we don't go anywhere. I'm so proud of the Board of Selectmen right now. We haven't had a layoff. We haven't had anything slow down, no glitches. We've really tightened the budget. We've done some great things. Who knows what the future's going to hold, but that's our job. Our job is to sit there and answer tough questions from people. Our job is to do the right thing for the town of Burlington. I'm very happy personally that I'm back on the board for another 3 years, and I'm happy for the town of Burlington. I'm going to sit on this seat and I'm going to do the best job possible like I've done for the past 6 years.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your service to the town. Thank you for coming in tonight, and good luck in the next 3 years, and we'll be covering you all the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Thank you, Burlington. Appreciate it.
All right. So there we have Joe Morandy, re-elected to the Board of Selectmen for a third term.
Third or fourth?
No, he had two.
Oh, he had two. You're
Mike,
right.
this would be Mike's fourth.
Right, I'm mixing them up.
Yep.
Okay, I think Mike is up next. Is that right?
I think so. Probably need to give him a couple minutes to do the social distance switch that we have set up here.
I will point out that there are other people who were up for election, all uncontested. Moderator, we had one term. Bill Byer was the incumbent, and I'm assuming he won re-election.
He did, yes.
Yeah. Assessor, we had one seat for a 3-year term. Paul Sharon will be returning. School Committee, we had one seat for a 3-year term. Martha Simon, who I think we'll be hearing from a little later.
Yes, she's here, saw her.
Good. And who else did we have?
So we had Library Trustees with Kevin Sheehan and Ram Varaganti, both
incumbents.
Incumbents coming back in. Planning Board, for a 5-year term, Joseph Impemba. He's been on the board for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Board of Health, we have David McSweeney, who is an incumbent, and then a newcomer, Andrea Sheehan.
Yeah.
She is going to be replacing somebody who decided not to run again this year. Wallen Jevitz was her name.
Oh, okay. And there was the Board of Health. We had 2 seats for 3-year term. Oh, that's what you just talked about. I'm sorry. Housing Authority. We had 1 seat for a 5-year term.
Yes.
Ryan Curtin.
Ryan Curtin.
He is new to the seat, I believe.
I think so. But he's not new to this town.
Right.
He was the treasurer tax collector for about 45 years.
Right. Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Well-established person in Burlington.
Oh, I think we are ready for Mike.
For Mike. Excellent. Michael, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, Rich.
Congratulations. And if you'd like to start to talk about maybe your family or your campaign people, feel free.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. I appreciate that opportunity. I've been at this a long time now, and every year I put my family through those same stresses that accompanied with a campaign, and I just can't thank my wife Lisa, my kids, and my extended family for all their support. It's just overwhelming to me, and again, we couldn't do it without their help.
And to the people who came out and voted for you today?
What can I say? Anytime you get town-wide support is certainly a great feeling. I think I work hard on their behalf year over year, and I think they recognize that. The job of selectman or any other office that I've held is, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. There's countless hours of meetings and budget discussions and planning, and so it's not just what you see on Monday night. It's much, much more than that.
Yeah. And the same question that I asked Joe, we're still kind of coming out of this pandemic. Things are starting to open up, but there's a lot of work to be done. What do you see as the priority of the Board of Selectmen for the next year and then, the next 3 in total?
Well, we've got, obviously, I think everyone is well aware that we've got a substantial budget deficit with the lack of meals tax, rooms tax. People don't think about the rooms tax, but they've been hit very, very hard, if not harder than the restaurants. We're probably looking at, maybe right now, 6 or 7 million, by September, maybe a $10 million deficit. We've really got our work cut out for us. How are we going to do that without just laying it on the taxpayer? So I am determined to work really hard to find solutions to overcome that deficit and avoid, a hefty tax increase come December. Now, in addition, I think most people are aware that commercial property values are predicted to decline over time. Hopefully it's not a rapid decline. So there's another problem we're going to be faced with, and thank goodness our budget director came on just as this COVID is setting in, because she's been an enormous help to us in working with the business community that we rely on so much here in Burlington. They're a huge part of what makes Burlington such a great place to live and work.
Yes, that was a fortuitous hire. Well, we want to first of all congratulate you, and then secondly, thank you for both your service to the town and for coming in here tonight. Now it's time for a well-deserved rest.
Rich, I am exhausted. I've been up since 3:15 this morning, and I'm baked. I'm a baked Alaska, as you can probably tell from
It got hot
your
out there
camera.
today,
It's a
didn't
long
it?
day out there, but it was better than rain and
Yes.
cold election seasons.
Yes, we did luck out with the weather today, that's for sure.
Thank you for the time.
All right, thank you, Mike.
For the interview. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay,
right.
that's pretty good. So he'll be returning to the board for his fourth
Yes.
term. Right?
Yes, fourth term for him.
Right.
Yep.
Next up, we have Martha Simon, who will be returning to the school committee.
Yes,
And-
which I believe is her third term. I'm going to have to verify that with her when she comes in.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, where do we leave off? Recreation Commission. We actually had two separate seats for that.
Right.
We had one 3-year term, and David Norden will be filling that spot. And the other for a 1-year seat, Stephen Nelson.
Yes, who was recently, I think, appointed to that.
Oh, he was appointed.
And
okay.
then he re-ran.
All right.
He was a longtime school committee member,
Aha.
and we spoke to him last year at this.
That's right, I do remember that.
Yeah, all right. So a couple town meeting precincts
Oh,
were
sure. It's-
contested. So in precinct 1, we had 8 candidates for 6 seats, and the winners were all the incumbents, we believe. So William Bovin, Donna Gregorio, Michael Hardy, Mark Saya, Adam Sinesi, and David Wodia beat out challengers Christopher Campbell and Joshua Rappaport.
Okay.
You got number 3.
Number 3, I have here, we had 7 people running in that, and again, I believe it was all of the incumbents. It was Lucy Damiani, Johan Fristacci,
Yeah, Joanne Fristacci. Yep.
and Stephen Marchese, Mildred Nash, Paul Gerard Noonan, and Julianne Willett,
Yep. And
beating out Tammy St. Pierre Hall.
All right.
And we had the 1-year seat in precinct 4,
Right. Precinct 4.
which I think we have to flip the page for.
I know. It's the problem. They give us a sheet that's bigger than the printer.
Yeah.
So we've got 1 year, one seat, 1 year, and we have Douglas Hastings beating out Bevan Nichols. Doug Hastings, people might remember, he was a longtime sports reporter for the Burlington Union. I think he has his own sports online blog now.
Aha.
So he's a kind of a familiar face in the stands.
And I think we have time for one more precinct. Looks like we're not quite ready out there.
Okay.
Precinct 5, we had 7 people for 6. Oh, wait, I guess we do have. We can get
Oh,
back to that.
we got
have,
Martha?
Martha.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, Martha.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm great.
Excellent.
Yes.
If you'd like to start by talking to your family and your campaign people, that would be great.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody who supported me in this campaign. I know I did not have an opponent, but the support of people in town and the voters and my family is very much appreciated. Thank you for your confidence in me, and I look forward to another 3 years of working to do the best I can for the town and for the schools in Burlington.
And this is your third term, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, obviously the schools, it's been sort of a strange year. Things are getting somewhat back to normal-ish.
Yeah.
The elementary schools are now full-time every day. Looks like the middle school will be that later this month, high school probably shortly to follow. Just what do you see as the priorities of the school committee, especially in the next year or so?
Well, I think it's the goal. I can't speak for everyone else, but I do believe that for Dr. Conti and for the school committee, our goal is to get back to as much as normal as we can, but not normal in the sense that we don't change anything that we've learned. And I think that it's very important that we take the lessons that we've learned this year and use them. And I think the main lesson I feel is that each child learns differently. And we have some students who have actually thrived this year learning remotely. We've had students who've been decimated, and it's been horrible for them and their families during this year where there's been remote or hybrid learning. And I think that's a good reminder that all of our children learn differently and have different needs. And I think that going forward, for me personally, the lesson is that we need to make sure we're addressing each child's needs, both academically and social emotionally. So that's what I feel we need to do next year.
Excellent. I do have one more question for you, just because this did just happen. The school department announced their selection for Director of Diversity, Inclusion, or Equity and Inclusion. Would you like to talk about that whole process and your thoughts on the selection of Mr. Porch?
Well, I don't want to go through the whole process again.
No,
I want to thank town meeting and all the people in town who worked really hard so that we could have this hiring process this year. We could hire somebody to become our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. He's going to be able to start right on July 1st. I'm really looking forward to working with Mr. Porch. And I know there's some people who are worried about it, but I think that as we move forward, that everyone will see that all of our children will benefit from looking at things with a new lens, from making sure that all of our children feel that they belong, and that includes everybody, no matter what the difference is. And I'm really excited that we are moving in this direction in the schools. I know there's people who want to move in that direction in the town as well. And it's important because we need to be sure that everybody's included in our society and in our schools. So.
All right. Well, congratulations on another term, and thank you very much for your service to the town and for coming in and joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, next up we have Sherry Ellis, who was a school committee, a selectman candidate.
Yes. She's a longtime town meeting member. Like you said, bylaw review committee. She's on other committees. She's actually a very busy person.
It sounded it, yeah.
She does a lot for the town. She's definitely out there. And she's one of those people, well, when we could all meet in person, you'd go to other meetings like selectmen's meeting and planning board, and she'd often be, there.
There, right.
She spends a lot of time, paying attention to what's going on in town. So I definitely think it'll be good to talk to her. All right. Did we have any others that we?
I think we had one more precinct, Precinct 5. We had seven candidates. Excuse me. Precinct 5. Yeah, 7 candidates for 6 positions, 6 incumbents. There was a little bit of a surprise there. We had Patrick Angelo was reelected, as well as Thomas Carlson, Mark Donahue, Alan Fay, Christopher Paul Murphy, and a challenger, Christine Robinson Concession, excuse me.
Yes, beating out longtime member Ernie Zabolotny. Was also one of those guys who, was an active member, very usually in the mix of things, served on different committees, was sort of a little bit of a surprise, like you said. Let's see, so there she is. That was quick.
Yeah, great.
She's the fastest one so far to get ready.
Getting quicker at it. Well, welcome. If you'd like to talk about to your family or your campaign people? That might be a nice way to start.
Sure, I actually prepared a statement, so I'd just like to read that.
Sure.
If that's okay. I wanted to thank all of those who turned out to vote today, and I offer my congratulations to Joe and Mike on their victory today. I also wanted to thank the town clerk's office for all they've done for this election and for the elections in the past in Burlington. And I especially wanted to thank all those who I've spoken to during my campaign. I listened to your ideas, questions, your views on town issues, and you've given me a better understanding of our community's needs. We've had a tough 2020 for sure, and it's my hope that 2021 can be the year of hope, renewed engagement in our government, recovery and progress for our community. To my supporters and my campaign volunteers, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your calls, letter writing, postcard addressing, donations, sign holding, and all the time spent and your words of encouragement. It's inspiring and humbling to know how deeply you all cared. And I'm very grateful to my thoughtful, creative, and dedicated core campaign team, Andy, Betsy, Eileen, John. I thank you for all the time over all these months and your tireless work on behalf of my campaign. To my family, Britt, Samantha, and Leanne, it's really been a hectic time, and I'm blessed to have your understanding, support, and love. Thank you. It's not the outcome we desired or what we worked so hard for, and although it's natural to feel disappointment, I'm proud of the campaign that we ran, the awareness that we raised, and the momentum that we built. As a town meeting member and the chair of the Zoning Bylaw Review Committee, I'm now going to focus my work on elevating the issues that were brought forward during this campaign. I look forward to working with the select board members, the administration, staff, our community business partners, and residents to learn, to listen, and to do what I can to make things happen. So I wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity.
Thank you for that. And, thank you for your continued service and all the, like I was saying before you got on, all the different committees and boards and things that you volunteer for. Now, obviously it was close. You had a lot of support. I think you had more letters to the editor in your favor than anyone else. I know it's a little early now, but should we expect to see you again on the campaign trail?
I expect you will see me around town meeting. Again, as I said, I'm going to continue the work I do now. We brought a lot of issues forward that I think we need to address as a town, and I think that's where I'm going to continue, and we'll see where it goes from here.
All right.
So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming in and all that you do for the town.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sherry. Okay, so now that we're out of races to talk about, I wanted to switch over just a little bit, because you're an elected official.
Yes.
You're the town moderator in Reading, so just talk a little bit about what it takes, and why more people should get involved with local politics.
I've always been surprised that the town elections have the lowest turnout, because that's where all of your services come from, and it's so easy to get involved too. It's not a matter of just voting. It's so easy to get involved. I'm town moderator, but there's plenty of positions that don't require maybe as much time, or just you have a different interest. We have planning board, we have recreation commission, so many different things that could be tailored to your own talents.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do. It's all within town.
Right, and I think you get a sense of, pride in where you live, when you're more engaged with it.
And you get to know your town better too. You get to know the people. It's a win-win all around.
Excellent. And it can't be, I'm guessing it's not that hard to get the paperwork and everything filled out and get on that ballot.
Keep in mind, we all have real jobs. We all have families and other parts of our life. So it's a volunteer position. So it doesn't take all of your time. It's fairly easy to get involved. In my case, I need 50 signatures. That's all I do. A town meeting seats, it's just 10. I think it's the same in Burlington, right? Or 10 or 15?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's 10 and 50 as well.
Yeah.
Like 50 for townwide.
Yes, right. Well, next up we have Christina Kim, who was just elected to the Shawshene Technical
Tech School Board. She's going to take her accounting skills and bring it to the board. That was one of the things that she was running on. So as soon as she's up, let's see, there's the numbers. 1566-883.
How many members are on that
You're going to put me on the spot.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's more than one town, though, right?
Yes, there's I think 4 different towns that feed into it. I think the board might have 7, but I'm not entirely sure. It's not something that we kind of get out to. It's over there in Billerica.
Yeah, but it's one person from Burlington.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the longtime person that was on it decided not to rerun this year. So.
And we still must be getting the person ready.
So just a recap, I guess. In the top line races, for Board of Selectmen, we had 2 open seats, 3 candidates, and incumbents Joe Morandy and Mike Runyon won over challenger Sherry Ellis. And for Shawsheen, as we're waiting for our guest, Christine Kim, won over challenger Michael Kelly. And then for town clerk, 2-time incumbent for 5-year terms, Amy Warfield, with 2,330 to Joseph Welch's 417. So,
And I think
here we
she's
go.
ready.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Hello and welcome.
If you'd like to start to talk about maybe your campaign people or your family, you'll be welcome to do that.
Just want to say thank you to my husband, my kids, and my friends who helped, the people who helped me along with the campaign, the things to do. It was a lot of work, and really the win was because of everyone that was involved. So I wanted to say thank you to them.
And any words to Mr. Kelly? It seemed like a good-spirited campaign, in all the forums that I saw you guys going on. It was very polite and, didn't seem like there was, any issues there.
Yes, I want to say thank you to Mike. He was on me the whole time, working diligently to get those votes and made me work really hard, and I appreciate that. And, he worked really hard, and he's an impressive person, so, yeah.
And I guess the main question, or the big question, you're now on the committee. The school is, kind of trying to come out of this pandemic like everybody else. What do you see as, the first priorities going forward?
Oh, gosh. I would say, the superintendent's coming up. That's the big issue right now. Some technology stuff and infrastructure. They just finished the budget, so that's going to be a little bit of time now. Those are the main things.
Okay.
All the things that come up.
Yeah, I think that has been pretty much the last year. Whatever comes up.
Yeah, as it comes at you.
All right. Well, I want to congratulate you on your win, and thank you for stepping up and, serving the Shawsheen Tech School.
Thank you. I look forward to it. And thank you to everybody again. I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you.
Excellent. All right. Let's see if we have...
Okay.
Yeah.
For rumors that we have Amy Warfield, is that...
Yeah, I think we might. I'm getting a thumbs up from Robert in the control system.
All right.
So I guess this could be a good time to actually thank everybody out there making this happen.
That's right.
So we've got our own Robert Parris of Burlington Cable Access Television. We've got volunteers Chris Rose and Colleen Moore, who are doing our graphics and running the people in and setting them up. And it's a small crew, but we wanted to be able to keep everybody safe and distanced. And,
Right. The separate room for the
right.
for the candidates has not only worked well, it's looked very good too.
It has.
It has a nice look to it.
It's worked out well, and if we go to the wide shot, you can see that you and I are 10 feet apart.
10
We
feet
measured
apart.
it.
Yeah.
So I'll keep my germs over here. And let's see, what can we talk about? So I did mention when we were talking to Martha that the schools has hired a new position. This was passed by town meeting last year. It's a director of diversity, inclusion, equity, and inclusion. And the person that was chosen is a man named Raymond Porch. And I guess we can just defer people to our site because we have a story on it on the homepage.
Yep.
As I see that Amy is already ready.
Great. Welcome, Amy. And if you'd like to start by talking about your family or your campaign staff, whatever, you're welcome to it.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, I do want to, there's a lot of people I want to thank. My husband for kind of putting up with all of this, and my brother and sister-in-law who came and really helped out, and a number of people who also helped with getting signs out, and just advice even from a number of old-time Burlington people who called me and said, you know, here's what you need to do, and we really wish you good luck. And it's also very humbling with the number of people that called and supported me and wrote notes for me and everything. It's just an awesome experience to be on this end of it.
Now, I know it's been a strange year, which I think is pretty much how I start every conversation nowadays. What do you see as the main priorities of the town clerk's office, you know, as we kind of come out of this pandemic?
Well, coming out of the pandemic, I think for the whole town is getting all of our employees back into our regular offices and getting back into the work routine that we had maybe pre-pandemic. It's not going to be the normal, but it's going to be a new normal. And so understanding that. And then there are a couple of projects that we got started on kind of in 2019. We had to, with presidential elections and everything in 2020, that was going to make a busy year anyway, and then dealing with the pandemic and the different types of town meetings. So kind of evaluating all those things that we did differently and identifying what worked well, what didn't work well, and putting together some new ideas for things like that. Then the other thing is, again, always dealing with elections. There's a number of new election laws that are coming down, and we'll be working with all of those and working the best procedures that we can.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for your service to the town and for coming in tonight. Congratulations on another 5 years. It's always good working with your office, so
Well,
excellent.
thank you. And again, it's just really, you know, it is, I enjoyed being town clerk, and I really appreciate the vote of confidence that the voters gave me today.
All right. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, I think that pretty much brings us to the end, unless we have someone else that...
I don't know. I'm looking at Robert through the window. Anyone else come in at the last moment? No, he's shaking his head no.
Shaking his head, so I guess
we are good to wrap.
Good to wrap. We've already gone through the recap. Well, thank you, Rich. It's been great working with you again this year. And I'd like to congratulate all the candidates for running really good races this year, especially to the winners who, of course, know that the real work now starts tomorrow. For Rich Hosford and all of the staff and volunteers here at BCAT, I wish you a pleasant evening.